So there's that advice that you don't want but need, and you know to be true, but you just don't want to accept, right? So starting off, we're going to start with those that aren't trading but really want to trade. So what's stopping you, right? So why haven't you started trading, right? So statistics shows that 100% of all the successful traders have at some point started, right? So what's stopping you in finding out if you're going to be part of those that are going to be profitable or not, or if you're just going to be part of the losers or those that take time, right? So why have you just started yet? There's nothing stopping you. Just start, right? Even if it's a demo, even if it's whatever, right? So just start, right? There's nothing that's going to stop you, or so like you're just limiting yourself, right? You never know unless you start, right? What if you're just holding out thinking that when I start it will work out, right? Rather than just starting, and if it doesn't work out you just have to move on to the next thing, right? So the first thing that's the most important is just start, just try it, whatever. If it's a new strategy, just try it. If you don't think so like I will do it next week, I will do it next, I will do, don't procrastinate, just start whatever it is that you want to do, right? Then the second thing is that there's no strategy that's 100% perfect, right? Every strategy works. Come to think of it, whether it's BTMM, whether it's smart money, order block, supply and demand, price action, everything starts, everything works. Sorry, everything works, right? But the most important thing is risk to reward ratio. Are you using proper risk to reward ratio? How are you? So, like, how do you set up your risk to reward ratio? If your strategy can't allow you to have a good risk to reward ratio, good risk to reward ratio starts from at least 1:2, but 1:3 is preferable, right? As long as if it gives you a 1:3 risk to reward ratio, then it's preferable, then it's good. Then the next thing that you just have to do is follow through your trading plan, right? You don't have to force trades, you don't have to do any of that stuff, but you just have to follow your what? You don't have to, is it undisciplined or indisciplined? Undisciplined trader, right? You don't have to be affected by FOMO, right? And you don't have to be affected by other people's results. If I'm making $5,000 today, it's because I'm able to make $5,000 a day. By the way, I'm not making $5,000 a day, right? But don't compare yourself with others. Do your own stuff at your own pace, right? Don't compare yourself to others. This is not a competition. It's all about you at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, if you're not able to put food on the table, it's just you and your family that's going to suffer. It's not that guy that you're copying or that you're competing with, right? So do what works for you rather than forcing trades, wanting to be better than someone and then end up blowing your accounts, right? So that's the second thing. No strategy is 100% perfect. Every strategy has its own flaws, right? But you just have to work best with, find out what you're supposed to do in order for you to make profit with the strategy that you're using, right? So you have to do a lot of self-analysis and analyzing how you're supposed to tweak around with that strategy that you're using so that you become profitable, right? Then the third thing is that experience is the best teacher, right? Have you ever come to a point that you don't even need to draw a trend line? You just so like just know that this is where the trend line is, or that setup that you usually know that usually after the market does this, it's followed by this. So it's just you just get that from experience after taking multiple trades or analyzing multiple times, right? You end up knowing that this usually after this happens, right? So usually after this, I shouldn't enter because there's usually a stopper, there's usually this, there's usually that, right? You just have to so like give a trading room, right? And experience it depends it differs from person to person, right? Someone might take a month, someone might take 6 months, someone might take 5 years, right? It doesn't matter, right? But you eventually get to that point, right? So be patient, right? Though even if at some point it might not be worth it, right? So, but at least have some patience and see if it works out for you, or but you eventually end up seeing what the market does, what the market wants, right? And you eventually it will eventually work out. In short, right? Then the fourth thing is that discipline is so like the answer to everything, right? As I mentioned before, there's no strategy that's 100% perfect, but it's your discipline to follow through with your trading plan, follow through with your entry criteria. You don't have to force trades, following every rule that you have set, right? And usually what you're supposed to do, but you ignore it, you falter, you outer, right? That's why you end up losing, right? So eventually discipline is the best teacher. Discipline for your emotions, just follow your rules. And I know that if you follow your rules, most of you, 85% of you will be profitable if you just follow your rules. But we're not disciplined enough so that to follow exactly with what we said, what we planned, right? As soon as you fund that account, you're so like forgetting everything that you have planned, or forgetting your rules, right? And that's the number one waste killer of everything, right? So be disciplined, right? And the last thing that I want to talk about is that yeah, trading is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. Not everyone can manage, right? So if you feel like you can't push through with it, then I don't think there's a problem with you quitting, right? I know that most of you are just going to hate me for this, for saying this, but if it's not working for you, it's not working for you, right? If you have reached a point that you want to give up, just give up. I sound just like just like a villain when I'm saying this, but I'm saying this from a, what do I say? So like I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot of people, right? There are some people that, let's say, they just say that any money that they get, they're just funding it in the market, right? And they're losing that money. They don't even have money to buy food or anything. They're just so like addicted to losing money, or so like to trading, right? But if it's not working out for you, if you are, as long as if you see that you are inconveniencing yourself, inconveniencing someone for trading, or it's simply that you see that after 10 years and you haven't even withdrawn $2, two, just give up, my friend. There's nothing. There are many things that you can actually do, right? And I don't think that there's a problem with quitting, right? As long as if you feel like you can't push through anymore, you can put. As long as if you think that you're not best suited for it anymore, then just give up. I Even if you hate me, but I'm telling you, I told you in the beginning of this video, this is advice you don't want but need. You know this to be true, and if you want to give up, then just give up. I don't. Let me just end up saying this, end up here, because I'm not. The more I say this, the more I'm sounding like a villain. It's like I'm against people having dreams or something like that. But just give up if it's not working.